out of here with ready to stamp. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of vellum hanging out. Just some scraps here and there, and often wondering what can I do with my vellum scraps. So I have a card here that I'm going to show you today about how to use up your scraps. So if you're ready to stamp with me, I'd love to share with you. Okay, so today we're going to be using this stamp set, but the focus of this is going to be the vellum and what we're doing with the vellum. But this is the stamp set that I chose to use. It's got a beautiful big flower over here called Floral Essence, and it goes with the Perennial Essence stamp set. I'm sorry, the stamp suite that we have in our new catalog. So I'm going to share with you what we can do with this. So the first thing, you're going to use your circle dies, which here are my circle dies. I just used the largest circle, not the best palette, just the largest circle, and I cut it out with my die cutting machine. Just follow the directions on your die cutting machine, and I cut it out. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use the flower in my large block. It is block deep and Memento black ink, tuxedo black. I'm going to lose that, so I need to move it so I can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this. And the reason I'm using Memento is because I'm going to be using my blends. The best way to store your stamp pads, not Stampin' Up, but other stamp pads that you have, that you need to store it upside down so that the ink will stay to the top of the pad. And that's how I store mine. And I'm going to be using my Stampin' Blends. These are Calypso Coral. The reason I chose Calypso Coral is because it's going to be in my designer series paper that comes with the suite. So start with the dark one, and I'm going to make sure this is dry. Give it a couple more seconds to make sure it's dry. Sometimes when I'm checking to see if it's dry, I turn it over and rub it on my scrap paper, and there's none coming off. So I'm just going to take this, and if you notice on the flower, it already has some dark colors or dark shading on there. So I'm going to use my dark and just color over that area. And then if you notice that there are flowers, petals over top of other flower petals, and that forms a shadow. So I'm going to use the dark over top of that, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people say to start with your the lighter one, but I sometimes I interchange, but a lot of times I'll start with the dark. And now I'm using the lighter color, and I'm just kind of blending it with the dark. I just kind of color in very gently because I don't want to bend my tip of my marker. So I'm going to just very gently in circles, and that helps blend my colors here. Darks with the lights. And if you see harsh lines, just go back over them again. That's all. So make sure that when you close your lid, by the way, I use the marker part where the thicker line is as opposed to the thinner line. So just make sure that when you close it, it clicks. Okay, so if you know me, you know that I like to save my paper because our paper is a good price, and I want to make sure that I am using it wisely. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be my layering card. So I want to make sure that I'm going to stamp and punch out of that. And I got to stay sort of close down to the bottom because I want to make sure that my punch will fit. Okay, so I want saffron. So I'm going to take that. And I like to close my stamp pads quickly because I always end up with an elbow in it. Okay, so now I'm just going to punch these out, line it up the best I can. Okay, so now when we use the designer series paper, we're going to cover it up and nobody will even know that we used part of that and you're still saving paper. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out this flower. And I know you're thinking, use a die cut for this, but this one does not have a die cut. So what I do when I cut, I don't go quite to the black line, and I'm moving the cardstock, not my scissors. For the most part, you might see me a little bit moving them, but for the most part, I don't. So I'm just going to have you watch me for a second to cut these out, because I know sometimes people get really frustrated when they're cutting out and their hands end up hurting. First of all, you don't need to stick your fingers all the way in because it makes it tight. So just there and gently hold it. You don't need to hold it tight. It's not going to go anywhere as you're cutting. So as you can see, I'm moving my cardstock, not necessarily my scissors. And just take your time. You don't have to be quick about it. Just, just take it easy. There, all done. Okay. Now, I've already stamped wishing you a blissful future. And it is a little bit crooked, but I'm going to fix that. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. You notice a lot of mine is just eyeballing what I'm doing here. believe we have everything ready. So let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to just use whatever tape you have. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love that watercolor look. I love it. It's so pretty. It's on the other side of the designer series paper that I'm using. And I just think it's gorgeous. I'm thinking about framing it because it's just so pretty. So I'm just lining this up on my old olive paper, cardstock I mean. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide where I want those. And I'm going to get my I'm going to get my dimensionals. I'm going to kind of guesstimate. Okay, so I kind of want it like that. So then I want these kind of like that and that. So what I'm going to do, take my dimensionals and put it on top of that. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone kind of thing. You know, just kind of getting it stuck on there. And then now I can stick my flower on top and just add one more. And we'll just set it over on top like that. So there. I want to do it like that. So when I'm going to add adhesive to my vellum, a lot of times you can see it on the other side. You can see through it. So I'm just going to use this over top of where my flowers are, where my flower is, I mean, and that should hold it there, just like that. I think I want to do it like that. So see, it holds it on pretty well. Now I'm going to add my saying, my sentiment, just over here like so. And it's crooked, so I gotta fix it. Okay, so there's that. Now this is our thick, very vanilla cardstock. Let me get some of this trash off here because it's kind of distracting me. There we go. So we're going to just fold it here and use my bone folder. I like to use my bone folder because it helps give it a crisp fold. And now I'm going to add these little dimensional covers. They can be annoying sometimes. I'm just going to add some adhesive. Use whatever adhesive you have that you like to use. And I'm going to add it to my card. Just kind of center it, make a frame to go around it, and there you go. There is the card using scraps of vellum. When you use the scraps of vellum, it just adds a little bit of a pop. And you could either use flowers, you could use a butterfly, you could use, you know, a bunch of leaves, just whatever you want to. You could even put the focal point, have the focal point be your sentiment and make it just a little bit bigger. So whatever ideas you come up with, I'd love to see them. Go ahead and put them in in the comments below. And thank you for stopping by at Ready to Stamp. Oh, if you are in need of a catalog, a Stampin' Up! Catalog 2019-2020, I have some that I would love to give you if you do not have a demonstrator. So go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll get one for you. Thank you for stopping by and happy creating.